नमस्कार, मी रवींद्र बोंद्रे, आदर्श विद्यालय चिखली, जिल्हा बुलढाणा येथे विज्ञान 2 विषय शिकवतो। तर आदर्श विद्यालय चिखली आणि इजी टेस्ट ॲप यांच्या संयुक्त विद्यमाने आपण ऑनलाइन लेक्चर आयोजित करत आहोत। तर सुरू करूया। वी आर स्टडीइंग अबाउट एनिमल क्लासिफिकेशन, द नेम ऑफ द चॅप्टर। In that we have studied history of classification earlier, then non-chordate animals, 9 phylums we have studied already. Then we started phylum Chordata. In this phylum there are 3 types of subphylums, and these subphylums we have studied yesterday too. The first one was Neurochordata. We have studied the characteristics and example. Then Cephalochordata. And today we have to see the third phylum, that is called Vertebrata. So today we have to see subphylum Vertebrata. We shall see the characteristics of vertebrata one by one. Now this is the most advanced or highly evolved subphylum Vertebrata. What are the characteristics of this vertebrata? The first characteristic, notochord. We have seen yesterday that in this notochord is present in some stages in the life. Here notochord is replaced by vertebral column. So for the first time vertebral column, and hence the name is called vertebrata, also called as craniata. There are 2 names, vertebrata and craniata. In our book, vertebrata is given. So, notochord is replaced by vertebral column. Second, head is well developed in this animal, vertebrata. Head is well developed. Third, brain is supported by cranium or skull, and hence they are called as craniata. So brain is supported by cranium or protected by cranium or skull, and hence they are called as craniata. Then fourth one, skeleton. Endoskeleton is either bony or either made of cartilaginous or cartilaginous. Skeleton and endoskeleton either bony or cartilaginous. And the fifth character, some animals are without jaw, called agnatha, and some with jaw called as gnathostomata. So these are the characteristics of this subphylum Vertebrata or craniata. 5 characters. Notochord is replaced by vertebral column. Well developed head is present. Then brain is supported by cranium or skull. In Marathi it is called kauti. Then skeleton, endoskeleton is either bony or cartilaginous, or means it is made up of cartilage. Then The fifth character, there are two types of animals in this subphylum Vertebrata. Some animals are without jaw, called as Agnatha, and most of the animals are with jaw, called as Gnathostomata. So these are all characteristics of subphylum Vertebrata or subphylum Craniata. Now we shall see next part. This subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata is divided into 6 classes, and these classes we shall see. Class 1 is called Cyclostomata, is the first class. Second class Pisces. Third one is Amphibia. Fourth one is reptiles. Fifth one is aves, and the topmost class in the animals is mammals. So these are the 6 classes which comes under subphylum Vertebrata. So today we have to study these classes one by one, step by step. So we shall take the first class, and this class is called Cyclostomata. And these animals which comes under class Cyclostomata are also called Agnatha, means without jaw or jawless animals. All the animals belonging to class Cyclostomata are without jaw or jawless animals, and these all are aquatic animals. Most of them are marine and some are freshwater dwelling or animals. So the habitat we shall study under these points. Habitat. So all the animals are aquatic, most of them are marine, and few are freshwater dwellers. So that is all about habitat. Then these animals, as they are without jaw, so their body is long like this, and there is such, this is the mouth, long body, slender like a fish, and this mouth is without jaw, so there is suckers. Instead of this jaw, it has sucker. So this is the speciality of these animals belonging to class Cyclostomata. They have suckers. Then skeleton. There is no exoskeleton, means no external appendages are present, no scales, no fins on their body, or no appendages present on their body. So that is exoskeleton. Now endoskeleton is made up of cartilage, so that is called cartilaginous. That is called cartilaginous. Then as it is aquatic, so naturally they contains large number of pharyngeal gill slits, and hence respiration is with the help of gill slits. All the animals which are aquatic, they respire with the help of gill slits, so they are present in their body. Then all are egg laying animals. They lay their eggs in water, and hence they are called as oviparous. So oviparous are those animals which lay their eggs, and hence they are called as oviparous. All are oviparous animals. Then they are ectoparasite, and generally they are ectoparasite on other fishes. So these are the characteristics of this class Cyclostomata. All are aquatic. Their body is fish-like, long. Then they have no jaw. Instead of jaw, there are suckers. Then these animals are aquatic. Most of them are what is called marine, and few are freshwater dwellers. Then exoskeleton is absent, like appendages. Then scales are completely absent, but endoskeleton is made up of cartilage or cartilaginous. Then they lay their eggs in water, hence they are called as, the female lay eggs, that is called as oviparous. Then most of the animals belonging to Cyclostomata are ectoparasite, and they are ectoparasite on other fishes. An example, Petramyzon. The example is Petramyzon and Myxin. There are two examples, common examples. Petramyzon and Myxin. So these are the characteristics of the animals belonging to class Cyclostomata. Now we shall see example. Example was in classification. So as usual, the first kingdom. Now criteria is changed. Now after kingdom, phylum. Then after phylum, subphylum. Then class and example. So kingdom, Animalia or animal kingdom. Underline. Phylum, Chordata. Then subphylum, Vertebrata. Class, Cyclostomata. And example, Petramyzon or Myxin. So that are all the characteristics of this class Cyclostomata. Now this is the first class. So depending on evolution, these are the primary animals in vertebrates. There is less development as compared to the next classes. Then second class of this subphylum Vertebrata is Pisces. Class Pisces, also called common name fish. Pisces or fish. Now characteristics of these animals. Fish, again habitat, all of you know, all are aquatic. Some are marine and some are freshwater dwellers. So that is all about habitat. Then they are called as poikilotherms. These animals are called poikilotherms or cold-blooded animals. Now for the first time this word comes poikilothms. Poikilothms are cold-blooded animals, are those animals in which body temperature changes according to the temperature of surrounding. म्हणजे वातावरणानुसार शरीराचं तापमान काय होतं बदलतं. So that is called cold-blooded or poikilotherm animals, and all Pisces or fish animals are poikilotherms or cold-blooded animals. Then if we see their structure, their body is spindle shape. It is called spindle shape or streamline. What is the meaning of spindle shape or streamline? So they are narrow on both the ends and they are broad in the center. So due to this shape, so what happens? There is a like this shape, narrow on both the side and broad in the center. So there is less resistance of water while swimming. So when they swim in water, there is a less resistance of water. Now next part, skeleton. There are two types of skeleton, exoskeleton and endoskeleton. Now exoskeleton is in the form of paired or unpaired fins. These are called as fins. Paired or unpaired. This is paired fins. Then they also have a tail fin. Now these fins are used for swimming in water, and tail fin is used for steering, as there is steering for a car or four-wheeler to change the direction of the vehicle. In the same manner, tail fin has a steering action, so it changes the direction while swimming on left side or right side. So that is tail fin. So fins are paired, or in some it is unpaired, like this. So this is fish, only one. Now this is the mouth, and these are called as scales. So scales are also type of exoskeleton present on the body, and fins and tail fins, these are appendages present on the body for balancing, for swimming and for changing the direction. That is all about exoskeleton. Then endoskeleton is made up of either bone or cartilage, as we have seen, bones or cartilage. Some fishes are bony and some fishes are made up of cartilage. Then respiration, as it is aquatic, no doubt it has large number of gill slits for exchange of gas, and with the help of this gill slits, the gas can be exchanged through water. Means oxygen is taken and carbon dioxide is released. That is gill slits. Then all fishes are oviparous, means they release eggs, and these eggs are converted into adults after fertilization. Then hence they are called as oviparous. Then example of this, all these fishes, shark for example, we shall see one by one. Shark, then electric wave, rohu, then stingray, so these are some of the common examples of what is called class Pisces or fishes. And then we shall see classification. As usual, First, in this classification, kingdom, then phylum, then subphylum, class, and example. So kingdom, Animalia or animal kingdom. Then phylum, Chordata. Then subphylum, Vertebrata, and class, Pisces. An example, any example of the class Pisces. So there are common examples are given in the book. Any example can be asked. For example, classify Rohu. So you have to write the same classification and example Rohu and underline it. So that is all about class Pisces. Then third class we shall see, and this class is amphibians. Class amphibians. The animal belonging to this class are called as the connecting link. We can say connecting link between the aquatic animals and the terrestrial animals, because the first two class they were aquatic. Now this is amphibians, means some stages are in water and some stages are on land in the life, and then remaining all are terrestrial. The next classes are terrestrial. So this is the connecting link among only this subphylum Vertebrata. All the classes of Vertebrata, amphibians is the connecting link. Now, so what are amphibians? Amphibians are the animals which live in water as well as on land. So some of the stages of life, the primary stages, they are in water and other stage on the land. So for example, frog. So we shall see habitat. So when they are in larvae stage, so they grow in water, complete development takes place in water. At that time they respire with skin, and this type of respiration with skin is called cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration. And when their growth is complete, then they came on land, and at that time they respire with the help of lungs. So respiration by two methods, and hence they are called as amphibians. Then respiration version, skeleton, they have endoskeleton made up of bones. Exoskeleton is absent. There are no scales, no appendages on their body, but they have two pairs of limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs. Forelimbs are short, hind limbs are long. The digits are present like this, but the digits are without claws. So because there are no appendages on the body, and forelimbs are short, hind limbs are long, and hence when the frog or any animal, frog walks, it walks by jumping because of imbalance in the limbs. Then all are oviparous animals. Female lay eggs in the water and they are fertilized outside the body. and such type of fertilization is called external fertilization. Then these animals do not have neck, so they cannot see by backward by moving their neck because of lack of neck, but instead they have prominent eyes and which are bulging. डोळे बडबडीत असतात, मोठे असतात. So what happens? Their vision area is expanded and they can see from the back also. So prominent eyes are there instead of neck, and the ears are absent. But instead of ear or ear lobes are absent. Ear lobe, or we can say external ear is absent. But instead of that, like this external ear, instead of that there is eardrum. Eardrum, and this eardrum is called tympanum. Tympanum. So that is all about the characteristics of class amphibians. So they are called as they show their habitat in both sides. Primary habitat in water, and when they become adult on land. Example: frog, toad and salamander. These are the examples, and as usual classification of this. Now this classification is same up to class, means phylum, kingdom, phylum, subphylum. Now this classification up to subphylum is same for all classes, all 6 classes. So at kingdom Animalia or animal kingdom, then phylum Chordata and subphylum amphibians. Classification up to all class is same. These 2 are same, only class is changed and examples are changed. Then class, subphylum phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, subphylum Vertebrata. Then class. So first 3 things are same for all classes. Then class Amphibia, and example frog or toad or salamander, and underline all of them. So these are the characteristics of class amphibians. Now there are some questions for homework for you. The first question: differentiate between Cyclostomata and Pisces. The first 2 classes. Then second, what are Agnatha animals? Third, what are Gnathostomata animals? Then next, what are cold-blooded animals or poikilotherms? Next, what are oviparous? And last one, what is cutaneous respiration? So all the questions are already we have seen when the topic was taught to you. So stay at the home and do your study, and we shall meet tomorrow. Thanks.